Johnny Depp last November lost his court case against a British newspaper that called him a wife-beater and claimed there was overwhelming evidence that he had assaulted the actress Amber Heard repeatedly during their marriage. Mr. Depp's assaults included headbutting Miss Heard, repeatedly hitting her, and tearing out clumps of her hair, wrote Andrew Nicol, the British judge who heard the case, in a ruling issued online. In dismissing the case, he said the defendants had shown that what they'd published was substantially true. The assaults must have been terrifying, the judge wrote regarding incidents in March 2015 in Australia, in which Miss Heard said that Mr. Depp assaulted her several times, including smashing a telephone beside her face. "I accept that Mr. Depp put her in fear of her life," the judge wrote. Don't forget to watch today's video in full to learn the full scoop behind the judge losing it after Amber Heard begs for the case to get thrown out again. The Sun newspaper controversy. The judge also acknowledged the risk Miss Heard had taken in speaking up about the violence. "I also accept that Miss Heard's allegations have had a negative effect on her career as an actor and activist," he said. Women's rights groups in Britain praised the decision. "This is an important ruling and one which we hope sends a very powerful message. Every single survivor of domestic abuse should be listened to and should be heard," Lisa King, a spokeswoman for Refuge, a British charity for survivors of domestic violence, said in a statement. When the case was heard in July, it often seemed as if it were occurring solely to generate lurid newspaper headlines and movie world gossip. Countless unsavory details of Mr. Depp and Miss Heard's marriage were aired. But it was actually a libel case in which Mr. Depp, 57, was suing newsgroup newspapers, the publishers of The Sun, a British tabloid newspaper, and Dan Wootton, that newspaper's executive editor, over a 2018 article that said there was overwhelming evidence that Mr. Depp had assaulted Miss Heard. Harming Johnny Depp's image. The article called Mr. Depp a wife-beater and urged the author J.K. Rowling to intervene and have Mr. Depp removed from the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them movie series based on her book. The newspaper's legal team argued that the accusations in the article were accurate and true. Miss Heard, 34, testified on the newspaper's behalf and said in pretrial documents that Mr. Depp had assaulted her on 14 occasions during their relationship, starting before they were married. Mr. Depp denied all of the claims, but the judge found that most of them did occur, citing a range of text messages from Mr. Depp among the evidence. Mr. Depp is also suing Miss Heard for defamation in the United States over an opinion article that she wrote for the Washington Post under the headline "I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change." Mr. Depp says the article led to his being dropped from the Pirates of the Caribbean movie franchise. It was not immediately clear whether the British judge's ruling would have any implications for that case. How they met. The pair met in 2011 while making The Rum Diary, a movie based on the book by Hunter S. Thompson, and married in February 2015. Miss Heard filed for divorce just over a year later. She also obtained a temporary restraining order against the actor after accusing him of hitting her. Miss Heard later withdrew the claim, and in January 2017 the pair agreed to a $7 million divorce settlement. There was never any intent of physical or emotional harm, they said in a statement at the time. During the case, Miss Heard said that the first time Mr. Depp assaulted her was in 2013, before their marriage. On that occasion, she said, he hit her 3 times after a discussion about one of his tattoos. The tattoo originally read "Winona Forever," in reference to Winona Ryder, Mr. Depp's former partner, but he had it changed to read "Wino Forever." "It felt like my eye popped out," Miss Heard said of the third strike, saying that it knocked her off balance and to the floor. Sasha Wass, a lawyer representing the newspaper, told the court in her closing argument that Mr. Depp's violence had come about because of a dislike of Miss Heard's independence, as well as his alcohol and drug use. Ms. Wass said that Mr. Depp had used so many substances that he may not even have been aware of the extent of his violence and terrifying behavior. The judge agreed with most of that characterization, repeatedly highlighting Mr. Depp's jealousy at potential love rivals and his drug use that impaired his memory. Amber Heard the abuser instead. During the hearings, Mr. Depp's team claimed that Miss Heard was actually the abuser, provoking arguments, and in one case in an argument in Australia, throwing a vodka bottle at him, severing his fingertip. Miss Heard testified that Mr. Depp had severed his own fingertip in the argument while smashing a phone next to her head. In his ruling, the judge devoted 17 pages to that fight. He noted that Mr. Depp had admitted that after sustaining the injury, He painted graffiti with his own blood on the walls of a house the couple was renting. "It is a sign of the depth of his rage," the judge wrote. "What exactly caused the injury is uncertain," he said, but added, "It may well be that Mr. Depp accidentally cut his finger on a piece of broken glass." Mr. Depp's team also portrayed the accusations as a hoax that Miss Heard had constructed as an insurance policy in case the marriage broke down. She was, according to this scenario, nothing more than a gold digger. Justice Nicol wrote in his ruling, "I do not accept this characterization of Miss Heard," he added, pointing out she had given her $7 million divorce settlement to charity. "Her donation is hardly the act one would expect of a gold digger," the judge said. Harriet Wistrich, the director of the Center for Women's Justice, a British organization, said in an email that she was very relieved that the judge has rejected some of the common tropes used to undermine victims of domestic violence, such as "she was motivated to stay with him for the money," or "if he was violent, why didn't she leave?" "We hope the outcome of this case will serve as a warning to wealthy men who seek to use the courts to silence women who speak out about abuse," Miss Wistrich added. Miss Heard acknowledged having once hit Mr. Depp, but told the court that she had been trying to protect her sister, whom she thought the actor was about to push down some stairs. "I will never forget it, because it was the first time after all these years that I actually struck him back," Miss Heard said. After the ruling was issued on Monday, the Sun said in a statement, "Domestic abuse victims must never be silenced, and we thank the judge for his careful consideration and thank Amber Heard for her courage in giving evidence to the court." Jennifer Robinson, a lawyer for Miss Heard, said the actress was unable to comment on the case due to the ongoing U.S. proceedings, but Elaine Charlson-Bredehoft, Miss Heard's American lawyer, said in a statement that the judgment was not a surprise. "We are committed to obtaining justice for Amber Heard in the U.S. court and defending Miss Heard's right to free speech," Miss Bredehoft said. Johnny's revival. Johnny Depp suffered a major defeat in the British High Court last year when a judge ruled that it wasn't libelous to describe him as a wife beater. But losing one battle isn't the end of the war. The big finale is coming in Fairfax County, Virginia in mid-2022, where he's suing Heard for $50 million over a Washington Post op-ed she wrote about her experience as a victim of domestic violence. In response, she filed a $100 million counterclaim, also alleging defamation and that Johnny was responsible for a social media effort to tarnish her career by getting her booted off Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Judge throws out Amber's case. Judge Penny Asgray disagreed, ruling that this application succeeding would set a dangerous precedent and that British libel laws are too different from the U.S. for the ruling to have weight in both jurisdictions. With Heard's application failing, the case looks set to go ahead in May 2022. Even so, with both sides exploring every possible pretrial legal avenue, this saga will continue on for at least a little longer. Expect fireworks when the two parties clash next year. If Johnny Depp triumphs, he may see a career revival. If Heard wins again, it's likely to be the final nail in the coffin of her ex-husband's reputation. With that said, we come to the end of today's video. Don't forget to join in next time for more of such interesting content.